both one, and he has broken down the middle wall of partition that was between us. Well, between us is in italics. Having abolished in his flesh the enmity, the hatred, the law of commandments in ordinances, for to make in himself out of two one new man, and so making peace. And so that he might reconcile both to Elohim in one body by the torture stake, having slain the enmity or hatred thereby. And he came and he preached peace to you who were afar off, and to those that were near. For through him we both have access by one Spirit to the Father. Now, therefore, you are no longer foreigners and strangers, but you are instead fellow citizens with the holy ones, the pure ones, and you are a part of the household of Elohim, and you are built upon you are built upon the foundation of the apostles and the prophets, Yeshua the Messiah himself being the chief cornerstone, in whom all the building, fitly framed together, grows to a holy temple in Yahweh, in whom you are also built together for a habitation of our Elohim through the Spirit. So not only are we temples individually of the Spirit of our Elohim, but together we make a temple. Or we're being built into a temple.
What was your comment originally on the first verse?
Quickened, first verse, brought to life. And you said it's in italics, and the reason I brought it to the surface so it can be seen is that has he quickened? In the Greek, there is no explanation for this being here. So whether you use the has he quickened or don't, it makes no real difference. And you who were dead in trespasses and sins, where in time past, and he explains what he talks about. You know, you've now been changed. He goes on to say that. This is how we were, this is how we were, this is how we were, but now he loves us, and he showed his great love, even when we were dead in sins. And he's quickened us, verse 5, together, brought us to life together with the Messiah.
So quicken is kind of the old English term for like life, brought us raised.
Make alive.
Quicken the dead means alive or dead, essentially. All right, yeah, I guess he just kind of, they put that in there to clarify that who was reading that was on the right side for life, I guess. That's the only thing that was added.
He may have not added that in. It might have been added in by the translator.
Yeah. But if you think in terms of how the Master Yeshua said to that one man, let the dead bury the dead, it makes perfect sense.
Which brings a question in my mind, if you brought that up. In the 15th chapter of 1 Corinthians, there's, if you ever speak to Jehovah's Witnesses, no, not Jehovah's Witnesses,
Latter-day Saints.
The Mormons?
Mormons. They brought this is the thing they brought up to me. I think it's 15th chapter.
Is the one about the whole resurrection chapter.
Yeah.
Every man in his own order.
Yeah, well, but down here's something about praying for the dead.
Oh.
Or baptizing for the dead. I thought it was there, 15th chapter of 1 Corinthians, maybe. mistaken.
Well, it does speak of resurrection,
Of the dead.
but yeah, I understand what you're saying. Yes.
Okay, look up baptizing for the dead.
I'm doing that right now. That'd be good if I spelled it correctly. Okay.
Romans 6:4.
No. How about? Let me just do this.
Put it all together.
Where you at?
I'm looking in the New Testament now. Looking for the writing of Paul.
I can't remember. I was sure that's where it was.
Yeah, it is in there, Uncle Buddy, number 29.
29.
29?
Yeah, it says else what?
Yeah,
shall they
Okay,
do?
else what shall they do who are baptized for the dead if the dead do not rise at all? Why are they then baptized for the dead?
Now,
I think
what they do, I don't know if you know this or not.
they do baptize for the dead.
They take somebody out of history.
Yeah.
Like, we're gonna baptize for Benjamin Franklin today. And they baptize somebody for Benjamin Franklin.
I've done it.
Huh?
I've done it.
Yeah, she used to be in the Mormon church a long time ago, just a fledgling.
Because they asked me about that scripture. And it's like, my answer is what Paul said, and Yeshua said, let the dead baptize.
Let the dead bury the dead.
Bury the dead. Let the dead bury the dead. And it's talking about people that are spiritually dead,
Right.
I think.
Could you also ask them, where's your second witness?
Well, see, what they're doing,
Well, they don't care.
The doctor is supposed to be my,
Yeah,
Well, they'll just make one up. They made their own books. to-
yeah, they just go to that.
The Book of Moron, I mean,
what I seen when I was there was that when they were asking for someone to be baptized for that person was a family member of somebody else.
The reason
That's what I saw.
the reason that I brought it up was I saw a newspaper article about they were baptizing for some historical person, and the descendants of that person was upset because they were doing it.
Yeah.
It seems like,
They don't have the authority to do that.
huh?
They don't have the authority to do that.
Well,
Unless things
I
have
know they
changed.
don't.
Unless things have changed since I was there. But I was also in Europe. When I did
Well, that's, I read an article about some descendants were upset because they were baptizing a person who they had descended from. They didn't like it. Well, anyhow, I just brought that up since Paul mentioned scripture there that we're.
Yeah, but that's still a puzzler because it's the way it speaks and the way this thing that I have in here to look these words up speaks. It literally talks about being immersed or cleansed or ceremonially washed, which is what a mikvah is or a baptism is, in place of someone who is dead.
Yeah.
I don't understand that. I've tried to find outside of the scriptures where that practice might have taken place. I've never really found anything.
No, I
Because
don't
we've
think,
talked about it, he and
I
I,
don't think it ever has been done, as far as I know, other than the Mormon church.
Isn't that kind of like the Catholic Church? And somebody's dead and they go in and give them the last rites?
I don't know.
It's kind of.
I'm sure there was some sort of religious ceremony that might have taken place in the history of mankind in a number of different belief systems over the centuries, the millennia, where that might have been done, but why it's mentioned here, I don't know. And it's mentioned here as if it was a practice that the Apostle Paul was aware of.
Or else, why would you baptize?
He's pointing out the hope for resurrection here more than anything. He said, why is this done if there's no hope for resurrection? You know, why do people even believe that who may not even know the truth, of the salvation of Yahweh? Why is that done? Why is there a hope for that?
Well, there's
Some idea of a resurrection is in their mind somehow.
in regards to what Terry's talking about, the Catholics have the indulgences, whether they be the little candles in front of the Mary statues that they have in their churches. People go and they put a dollar under there and light a candle and do a little prayer. They've got all kind of ways to pray, get people out of the in-between place, the purgatory.
Yeah.
They pay indulgences, and that's one of the things that Martin Luther put on their door, on the cathedral door about that. He says, where do you get this?
Well, indulgence, I believe, you were buying the right to sin. You know, you could, if you wanted to go out and commit adultery, then you could went and bought an indulgery.
Indulgence, yeah.
So you could go ahead and feel like, okay, I've already paid my sin, so I'm free to go do it.
Well, one's a debit and the other's a credit.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
like you go on into
That's sort of the
confession
way it works.
afterwards,
Yeah.
All right,
then they just tell you to pay penance, don't they?
chapter 3. Chris, do you feel like reading chapter 3?
No.
All right. Anybody else want to volunteer? All right, I'll volunteer. For this cause, I, Paul, a prisoner of Yeshua the Messiah, for you Gentiles, if you had heard of the stewardship, the grace of Elohim, which is given me towards you, how that by revelation he made known unto me the mystery, as I wrote before in few words, whereby when you read you may understand my knowledge in the mystery of the Messiah, which in other ages was not made known unto the sons of men, as it is now, revealed unto his holy apostles, prophets by the Spirit. Did I miss something?
No, I was just wondering, on the second verse, I heard of what was this word you used?
Stewardship.
Okay, because they got dispensation that came down.
Yeah, I got dispensation too.
Yeah. Is it about the same stewardship?
It says here in this Bible, dispensation, and the word is actually oikonomia, which means either dispensation or stewardship. Administration of a household or estate. Okay.
Yeah, I just was wondering the word difference, but usually they match pretty good. Okay.
All right. Verse 7, I think.
Now, dispensation, one other word. The word dispensation here could be construed as the distribution of the grace of our Elohim toward you. Right.
All right, I'll start back in 6. That the Gentiles should be fellow heirs